Shalom Aleichem, my dear brothers and sisters. Today I want to talk to you about whether it's correct and whether it's a good idea for women to be working, for Jewish women, and maybe actually others as well. And I'll start off with a story. It says in the Talmud that when Ruth, peace be upon her, from the nation of Moab, converted to Judaism, the Talmud asks, how is it possible if there is a clear commandment in the Torah that Moabites and Ammonites may never join the congregation of Israel? So how is it possible that Ruth, peace be upon her, converted to Judaism? And the Talmud answers and says that the reason why Ruth was able to do that is because she is a female, and the prohibition that the Torah made was only applied to men, meaning men, Moabite men, cannot convert to Judaism. Then the Talmud asks, why is that? Why is there a difference? And the Talmud answers, why? Because this was a punishment from God when Jewish people were leaving Egypt and they were passing by the Moabites. And Moabites, even though they are our cousins, they were supposed to, greet the Jewish people with bread and water. Your cousins are passing by, but instead they were hostile to the Jewish people, and therefore God punished that nation and made a decree that they shall not join the congregation of Israel. Now the Talmud asks, so why are women excluded from this punishment? And the Talmud says, why? Because for women it's not proper to go out and greet men with bread and water. It was really the man's job, the Moabite man's job. They were supposed to do it. And then the Talmud asks, but the woman could have gave bread and water to the Jewish women, while the men to the Jewish men, and therefore they, Moabite women, maybe were also at fault. And the Talmud says no. Why? Because the praiseworthiness of a woman, of a princess, that's what the Talmud says. The praiseworthiness of a princess is inside the house. It's best for Jewish princesses to stay inside the house. Well, not necessarily Jewish, actually. From this Talmud we see that this applied to the non-Jews, the Moabites. So from here, it seems to me that the most proper thing for a woman is to be inside the house. To be the housewife. And so therefore, in the way it seems to me that it is not proper for women, to be outside the house working. Now, I'm not talking about in a situation where there's no choice. The family is gonna starve to death, and sometimes, unfortunately, this is the society we live in, where sometimes it's there's no way around it. You cannot escape that, and women do indeed have to work because there's no other choice. I'm talking about in a situation where man makes enough of a living, to be able to support his family without having his wife to work. It seems to me that the most proper way is for a woman to be inside the house, to be a housewife, to take care of the children, to take care of the husband. And even in cases where, because the Moabites in the Talmud that discusses, this wasn't about even working. This was about doing what's called chesed. What's called doing kindness, something like a good cause outside the house. And yet the Talmud says that they did not have to do it. Why? Because the praiseworthiness of a woman is inside the house. Therefore, it seems to me that even chesed and stuff like, going outside the house, for women certain things are improper. So for example, for women to give out speeches in public, and do fundraising and stuff like that, and and to me it seems like this would be improper. If she wants to do, let's say, kiruv even, to bring other women closer to God or something like that, to me it seems like it is more proper for her to invite maybe women to her house and talk to them there, rather than giving speeches and being very active in the community. Because it seems to me that every time a woman appears in public, and gives speeches, every time she does this, she loses a bit of her honor. That's what it seems to me. So now, I'm not a rabbi. I'm not saying that this is, the mainstream Jewish view. This is, my opinion based on what the Talmud says. And, if you want to argue, you're welcome to argue. I don't think I'm the only one who thinks this way. I'm pretty sure there are rabbis who would agree with this. But, so here's my little opinion. Thank you so much for watching.